called Transforming Feminisms. I want to know what some of your burning contemporary today, right now, this afternoon, what some of your burning issues are, what is a really pressing issue for you from the perspective of a woman, as a woman artist.
So for me, it was, well, it still continues to be this situation where when I enter a conversation about feminism, I have to talk about it in compartmentalized sections. There's me being female, there's me being African American, and me being queer. And I never feel like that conversation is one single conversation that I'd like to have. It's separated. And so my burning issue is being able to talk about this as I live. I'm not three people. I'm very much one individual that experiences these things simultaneously. And so that would probably be my biggest issue is having the expectation that when I enter this conversation, I'm only going to talk about one aspect of where I enter that feminist conversation. And even when I was asked to do this show, I was hesitant because I knew how I wanted to talk about it as it pertained to what my showmate and I talked about, and the conversation we were having was about race and the types of things that happen to us that have to do with race, but happen specifically because we're women. And being able to have that conversation, I feel like it was hard. It was hard. So that would probably be my biggest issues with it. It's just not being able to approach it as a whole-bodied individual.
Now, there were some other artists here who are in the show who are women of color. Do you want to speak to any of this? They're not here? I thought they were.
I think that's the policy. They're just shy.
I can send myself. I mean, it's fine, yeah. But I don't necessarily want to speak to that right now, but if you'd like.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a conversation.
Sure.
Well, it might be nice if everyone entered the conversation and then...
Okay.
Well, I'm sitting here and I'm having somewhat a similar thought. And I know that there, in front of me, there are two wonderful artists, are different Asian artists. And I'd be happy to have you come here because I feel, you know, I'm so aware of this aspect of connection and how we practice with one another. To me, feminism is a huge piece about relationships. And you know, there's one thing about an ism, but the challenge is always how you deal with how you relate to people, how you support. So what is, you know, there was to me, I am highly aware of the amount of privilege that has been in my life. I mean, there's people that have had more, but I certainly have had a good deal of privilege. And I think my most burning issue, as much as I've, in addition to art, I've made my living in publishing as an editor, writer, you know, and I'm comfortable communicating, but is to practice listening. And what really burns for me, I think, is multi-generational. So I only volunteered for this panel because my, you know, artist mate for this was Audrey Chan that I thought was going to be on the panel, and she's not here. And I chose my work based on what she was showing because I wanted to. I feel it's a time to listen and compliment, and to offer what I might have, and to learn, and that comes from people of any generation. But to me, it's a lot about, ironically, it's becoming more and more about listening, and it is definitely about being aware of that I choose the right place to be participating, so I minimize displacement.
Could you, just for the sake of all of us who have just met once, would you please say your name, just so that we know, so that we can go back and refer
That would
to
be
the
good. Yeah.
Thank you.
I am Sandra Mueller.